count to 10. On a count to 10, you will feel wide awake and you will feel wonderful all over. 1, 2. Start to wake up now very nicely, enjoying your body. Very nice. I see you're waking up now, so I'll count a little bit faster. 3, 4, 5, 6. Becoming aware of the sound as well, the sound of the room and outside of the room. 7, 8, very nice. Waking up now very nicely. 9, 10, wide awake, feeling wonderful all over.
Oh, sorry.
No, you have nothing to be sorry for, that for sure.
Oh my God, my eyes crying. I was holding them so tight.
Oh, beauty. Wow.
Oh, goodness. Hi.
How are you feeling?
Oh, so good. Like I took a nap, but I was awake.
Yeah, I have the feeling that there's some part that you've been more removed than others, so listening to this recording will be very important.
This is so exciting.
How do you feel? What was exciting for you?
Oh gosh, I really liked, I didn't know how to, I'm gonna say it now because when I felt it, there was no words that were coming, but when it was towards the end when you asked for if anyone was coming forward to you, as soon as you said that, it's like I could feel someone use my body as a mask, my face as a mask. It was like it came in, and it was like, okay. And that's when I started, like, I don't know, it was like really deep, and it was some sort of light language, but it felt like it was trying to communicate directly to you in like your language, whatever that was. And I got the sense that it was really like to connect to you, so that you would understand. So I don't know if you understood any of it, but it felt very much like that. And then it was showing me this, that you're like a finger, but of a hand, but it wasn't using a hand as an analogy. It was looking as a circle. Mm-hmm. It was like, we're here, but then there's everyone else linked around you, and you're just the expression in the human, earthly realm. And I thought that was just so amazing and so cool. It was just like, you are like, as a being, you are your own being, but you're also, and I think it was like bringing us back to that, like those little insects at the beginning. It was like a little insect, but I was part of the big mantis being. Yeah. It was kind of like that. It's like, as humans, we think we're the big beings, but then there's an even bigger being. And it was just that. It was so beautiful. It was like so yummy. It was so good to just experience that. And I don't know what words to use. Like, there were no words. I don't have it in my vocabulary. So I don't think that's why it wasn't really coming out. Like, I don't have in my vocabulary what that was like, but it was so, it was so nice to experience that. And that was like, it felt like, obviously your experience in a way. So cool.
Oh, sweetheart. Wow, what a beautiful session. Really beautiful. There was so much information. I'm even trying to think what to repeat for you, but I think you'll just take a time to like listen to it and you'll get all that you need from it. Yes. But you are walking such an amazing path, and you have such a big mission and such a beautiful, like, just, I feel like the clarity of your mission here, that you came to help people to guide them to the place where you've been so much, and that you chose to stay here for some time to really guide everyone there. So that's really beautiful, and I think we share some mission in that. So.
But it was really interesting, because I was like, last it was the first session that didn't record it, the second one, where you asked about the new earth, and it just wasn't coming. It was pulling me out of hypnosis, because I was like so stressed out about not tapping into anything. And now I feel more relaxed about it. It's because, in a way, and like, I am so looking forward to it, but not for this life for me. Like, it's almost like I'm looking forward to it for everyone else, but not because I don't think I'm good enough for it, but just because I know it. And it's so good. It's so nice to feel that way. And it's like, that doesn't mean I don't get to experience it. That doesn't mean that I won't get to go, maybe, who knows what soon means, right? But maybe I do get to experience it in this lifetime. But what I'm really looking forward to is experiencing the changes within this earth right now, because I'm a leave no man behind type of person. So I think I'll just kind of stay until I've got everyone across. It felt so good to just hear myself say that, I guess. To just be like, okay.
And it's also beautiful to hear how everyone sharing a little bit different experiences, even with all this information about these waves and how it's supposed to look like, that very advanced souls have very different choices about how to experience it. And if one have one experience doesn't mean like you are in a different, I don't know, better or worse or this, it's just kind of like what the soul chose to came here to do. And
exactly. And that's so beautiful. And also the we forget about that about humans, but this, even as humans, we have such different experiences. We're such different types of people, and then we get really we really silo the wisdom that comes in, and we're like, oh, this is either it's using a galactic name or the type of energy, but we really silo it. But do we like, if we look at our human selves, like all the humans around this entire world, it's so much more complicated than that, so much more multifaceted than that. And so it's really nice to just sometimes get, I think it's what they were saying about me at the beginning. I needed to really like go at the same time as everyone else so that I could bring some peace of mind and some validity to what I was experiencing. But then after that, like, I learned how to walk. So did everybody. Cool. Now I'm just going to go explore. And so it's nice to start getting those kinds of messages too, because we first needed to hear, and it depends what pace that'll go at, but we first need to hear through multiple people that yes, the event will be happening. We'll get that change. We are transmuting so much lifetimes and lifetimes of trauma, and we are going to this new earth. But then once we figure out that that's happening nonetheless, like no matter what, then we're like, oh, but here are the differences. Here's how it's gonna play out based on what you've chosen, or how it could play out based on what you've chosen to experience in this life. I really like that, because it makes it feel way more rich, way more rich. Not that the experience in itself wouldn't be extremely rich, but it's just, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you. And for you, just like, continuing with your curiosity. And now I think there was some few things that were important for them to do also, like they wanted you to learn the energy of your higher self.
Oh my gosh, I felt so good. Because I met, it's really interesting. I forget what the name is, because, I'm not so good with pulling names out.
She said something about, she gave us a short.
Nia. But she's one of those blue beings. I forget, and has a big head and big black eyes, like almost like those big black, I don't really know, and very narrow body, but like humanoid. And when I met her the first time, it was just a really beautiful experience. And I'm finding that I'm more able to tap into that aspect of myself, and it's so beautiful. And like, it was just like so much peace. It was like almost, I was like, I'm done talking for a while, but then I was like, no, okay, I'm gonna talk. But it was just like, it was like, I don't even know, it was like a weighted blanket, but it wasn't. It was just so nice.
Beautiful. I saw you getting emotional in the end.
Oh yeah, because she was leaving. It was really beautiful. We like tapped heads like at the third eye and exchanged a little bit more, and just like said
just a little more cards here.
It was so good.
Wow.
Ron, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. That was a pleasure.
That you are. You really are a gift to us all.
Oh.
That you gave me also with this. It's incredible.
Yeah, you know, I had so much energy the whole session. I'm also holding this like rock that I like bought here that is like, it's a rock that when you touch the electronics, it moves. It's like a finger. There's electromagnetic something that's, and when I'm holding it, it's just like, so
does
I'm
it
with
mean
this rock.
It energizes you or something like that?
I don't know what it's doing. It's doing a lot.
More than that. Okay.
And then all the light language and all that, like my crown was like, and my back, and I felt like my wings and all of the things. So,
so good. That's good. Yeah, it's so interesting. There was a few energies that I was like done because I couldn't hold them. Like and that when he came by,
yes.
he was really frustrated, which is really funny because I didn't expect that kind of behavior. But it wasn't with. Which is really interesting because it wasn't with. It wasn't negative. It was really interesting. That frustration wasn't negative. It was just frustration at trying to get through and not knowing how to get through. Because it was like, just go with the flow, have fun. And he was like, no, you have to have structure. Trying to say that, and it was like, but then, this just. It was really fun to see, like, that whole internal dialogue that was going on over there, and they were like trying to figure out, like, that's why you came in before I did. That's not fair. And eventually, because he was just like, and it was just getting bigger and bigger, and I was like, I gotta tap out and try and use my words because not use the same vocabulary I use. So it was really fun. It was really fun.
But I really love that there's like how the physical body is also part of it, and how the physical body can help the astral body, and like that
was so important. That was really important. That was the it's our next step in integrating into this earth. Because first we need to like relax our minds so that we can get the heart frequencies to come through, and then once we get used to that, then we can get the cognizant part to open up, so we can get messages that sound like something our brains can interpret. And then once we have both those things, then we need to really anchor it into the body, through the body. And it was really interesting. I don't know what he meant about the breathing, but you made some breathing thing that made sense. It was just, it seemed as though there's some breathing techniques that bring the energy up.
Yeah, I think he wants what I felt that he wants actually kind of more the opposite of the breath of fire, because the breath of fire is more about the out. And I think he wants more about the in.
Yeah, the one.
So there's something about like bringing the more oxygen fast in and
emptying. There's something about emptying. But it's the thing about when you do like healing work, you tap into your heart, and if you love someone a lot, your hands will heal. Or you've been attuned to Reiki, so you can also use it by just meditating, and you connect to it. And this was it felt like this was the physical body aspect of doing the same thing, which is really cool. It's like you bring in the healing energy, but straight through that third aspect of yourself. And we have so many different aspects, but that was really cool. It's that idea that you just, the same way that you do it through the heart, the same way that you do it through the mind, you do it through the body. Straight up through the body, which I thought was really cool, because then that's really how we bring in even more, anchor even more some of that experiential stuff, because we're here in body, we're here in form. I really liked that. I really liked. So I think it was I've experienced it just once, but it seemed like it was the one where you breathe out and you just hold your breath, and that it has this aspect of no space. It's like, and then you breathe everything out, and then you kind of like hold for as long as you can, and that just brings energy through in a very powerful way. I think, and it's a different feel than like the breath of fire, which kind of releases energy, emotions. It's more about your emotional body, whereas this one is really about your physical body and the cells working without an input of oxygen. It's a really different thing. Well, I mean, it's breath work, but it's energetically has a different signature to it.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting for you. Tell me what you think. Because I wasn't really sure what he meant. Like, I was like trying to see or like be like, okay, well, does that mean that he's not using any breath work in his like activation?
And you wanted it in the rituals. That was interesting as well.
Rituals. Yeah, it was something about how much more special they become, and in that sense how much more power you give them, and so how much more power they have. That was really cool. And then that, I think that's that thing where we're now, or I guess we, like you and I don't know anyone else if it applies to everybody, but everyone who's ready, is you have that mind aspect where you can connect and think and like translate all of your sentient experience, your clair experiences, and your heart where you just have all of that love, like the core of who you are, and then that physical aspect that is the human part of you. And it's really cool. Like, we're just, this is our next step. This is what the portal that opened is about. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Our bodies are becoming magical. Like, how amazing is that?
Yeah.
Like, because right now, up till now, my body's been just trailing behind. Being like, don't forget me.
Yeah.
Oh, super exciting. Super exciting. Thanks so much.
Thank you. I'm going to upload it fast and I'll send it, and
I'm so excited to listen to it again.
Yeah.
I'm going to like do that at work all day. Like, listen to the other one too, because I wasn't ready. It's so interesting. I just wasn't ready to listen to the second one.
Really?
I don't know what it is, because I'm usually like super on top of everything, and I was like, no, and I've held that, which is really funny that you messaged me like just today, because I've held that until this weekend. I was like, oh, I'll be ready pretty soon. Wow. And then you message me, you're like, how about today? And like, oh, really soon. I just needed the integration time, because I think that there must be a lot of healing in that video that I might do second layer when I listen to it, and I just wasn't ready for like the second round.
Yeah.
I think that's probably what
You're
happened.
You're ready.
Yeah. I just needed integration time. I needed to sit with what's happened and be like, it's like when you move and you dump everything in the middle of the floor. I just needed to put it away in closets. Like, that's what I needed to do. And so now, like, I have more space. Good job
that you came back to it, and you're doing beautiful.
You are such a gift, my friend. Thank you.
Sweetheart.
Thank you, and thank you for all that you do.
Talk soon.
You take care. Enjoy the rest of your beautiful adventure.
Thank you. Bye, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Bye.